With free agency just beginning a few days ago, there's been a lot of trades around the NFL, a lot of big name signings, a lot of players moving teams, and that's obviously going to affect the dynasty landscape quite a bit. A lot of players are going to be affected by those moves, and in this video, we're going to be explaining those players that are going to be the most impacted. Their value has either changed significantly, gone up, gone down. These are now sell high guys, buy low guys, those types of things. So James will start it off with Ashton Jeanty here.
So yeah, we're starting off with Ashton Jeanty today. I took him at the 101 last year. I think a lot of other people did. We're a little underwhelmed by his production. I never gave up on the player. If you look at the underlying analytics, he's an analytical darling. He had 1,300 scrimmage yards last year, and 1,000 of them were after contact. So we only had 300 yards that were actually created for him by his offensive line. He had 149 missed tackles force, which broke the record. 0.32 missed tackles force per attempt, which also was a record. This guy's an absolute beast. He still managed to hit numerous home runs, some in the passing game, some in the running game. We saw the one against the Texans. We saw the long one against the Bears. The potential is there. Guys like Max Crosby were saying, like, just wait. Like, this guy's a dog. Like, we see it in the building. We just needed to get him some protection. Dylan Parham and Jonathan Meredith were frankly terrible last year. Like, some of the footwork was really bad and getting completely blown up. Like, he was getting hit 2-3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Adding Tyler Linderbaum in there is huge. Many people are saying overpay. Listen, they did overpay, but they got to reach the cap floor anyway, especially with what the Ravens just pulled. I don't think they're too mad about stealing their starting center regardless of the price. Run blocking stud. A little bit weaker as a pass blocker. Not a weak pass blocker, but he's a little bit smaller, which is kind of what you expect for centers, but he's really, really mobile, getting into that second level, hitting those linebackers, which is going to help Ashton Jeanty hit those home runs. Moving JPJ inside to guard and Colton Miller is the beginnings of a really good offensive line unit. If they can find a replacement for DJ Glaze in the draft, maybe we're talking about a home run unit here. Ashton Jeanty, I think, is going to be a smash hit in this next year. He's got LT potential for me. The way he misses tackles, his build, his frame, he's so small, so strong. The speed, the agility, the quickness, the vision, it's all there. And when you layer that pass catching, I truly think he becomes one of the most dangerous and versatile weapons in the NFL with this new offensive unit. I am stoked to see what Ashton Jeanty can do in the future.
I'm surprised that a lot of people have Jeanty pretty low in their rankings. I would definitely take him over Jeremyiah Love, no doubt in my mind. Over a lot of these players, Omarion Hampton, Devon Achane as well. Definitely Ashton Jeanty over them. The potential's there, the floor's there.
Yep.
You don't really have to worry about him not getting the volume. He's going to be getting a ton of volume. Although we did see Clint Kubiak earlier the offseason, he's like, well, we got to have like a 1B to Ashton Jeanty's
Yeah.
1A, and that definitely scares me. But so far, we haven't seen them, sign a running back, a backup running back. We haven't seen them think about that so far. So, it's to be seen. That's definitely a bit scary there. They could draft someone, but I don't think the running back class in this draft's that great. So I'm not that scared if they do. Like, it'd probably be kind of a third down, like just to spell him. I really think he's going to break out this season. He had those, 40-point games in his rookie season, even behind a historically bad offensive line, as you mentioned. So I'm really, really excited for his potential as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping that scared me as well. I'm hoping he needs, like, we're looking to upgrade on like the Amir Abdullahs and Zamir Whites we've been
Yeah,
running as
exactly.
backups for the last couple of years. If we see some sort of Charbonnet K9 situation, that would be excruciatingly frustrating given Genty's potential. That remains to be seen.
Starting off with Tyler Warren, with my guy who was impacted the most by free agency. If you're not sold on Tyler Warren after his record-breaking 817-yard rookie season, you kind of have to be now. Michael Pittman Jr. just got traded to Pittsburgh, so that means the target vacuum in Indianapolis is going to be massive. Last year, Warren was already a Pro Bowler. He was operating as kind of that matchup nightmare in Shane Steichen's offense. And now with Pittman's 100 plus target ceiling gone, Warren isn't just going to be that security blanket anymore. He's effectively going to be the 1B to Alec Pierce's 1A. They could obviously add another, outside receiver in the draft or free agency, but Ballard, he doesn't really like doing stuff like that. But if the Warren manager in your league thinks that he's peaked in value and, he saw the end of last season without Daniel Jones, which was definitely a very low floor for Tyler Warren. If someone thinks he's peaked already, I would definitely definitely buy him now before he puts up 1,000 yard season. If you need a tight end, I definitely give something like, Wan'Dale Robinson and a late first for him, RJ Harvey and a plus for him. I would send Garrett Wilson straight up for him, to be honest, if you're already set at wide receiver. And I also saw a trade where it was a 27 first for Tyler Warren and a 27 second, which I don't love giving great first round picks in great drafts, but Tyler Warren, if you need a tight end, he's definitely the guy to target. He's very, very young as well. I would definitely do that. And if it's one of the last pieces of your rebuild, the tight end position, just get it done, in my opinion. I think he's going to have a great sophomore campaign. I'm a huge fan of him. They only have to get him more involved in the offense with only Alec Pierce and Josh Downs as the other weapons. And if there's an injury, Tyler Warren's going to be sky high in targets. So definitely go after Tyler Warren.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Tyler Warren as well. Hard for me to like a Colt, but I mean, he plays the game hard. I love the way he can block, he can receive. Like he's a real tough player. The way he carries the ball, like when they give him the ball in those kind of red zone situations.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's a 10 touchdown threat as much as he is a 1,000 yard threat, which I think he will hit at least at some point in his career, if not next year. Hard not to become a Tyler Warren fan watching him play. You guys ran the card in when he came up. Not hard to see why. He's been a big difference maker, and I think with that red zone potential, I would love to see some more goal line carries for him this year.
Yeah.
So if we see a Jonathan Taylor injury or anything like that, especially, we would definitely see a ramp up in his red zone carries. I love that kind of goal line package he's in, but he's a big touchdown threat. He's a 1,000 yard threat. He's a great player. Huge Tyler Warren fan.
The crazy thing is they even tried giving him like a pass attempt as well. It was on a trick play, so Steichen knows how to be creative in his scheme, getting Tyler Warren touches. So definitely he's a guy I'm targeting for sure.
That's the only thing I was worried about was him not getting that kind of like Penn State level usage and kind
Yeah.
of be like a Hayden Hurst level like filler, but
Yeah.
they know how to utilize him and he's been awesome.
He's definitely the tight end one. Like nobody else is getting reps over him. He's getting almost 100% of the snaps every game. So he's
Exactly.
that guy who never gets off the field. Like it's rare to see him off the field. So lots of
Yeah.
opportunities, lots of volume there.
All right, so now I'm moving over to look at Michael Penix. I was a huge fan of Michael Penix in his draft process. I really actually wanted him over Drake May, which was crazy looking back on it. He had a great college career. Like the injuries were really scary, but that last season at Washington was special. I think what we just saw with CJ Stroud was very, very telling of what we thought he could do and what NFL GMs thought he could do at the next level. He's now had 2 shoulder surgeries and 3 torn ACLs now. It's becoming a bit of a problem, much in the same way as his new quarterback competition is in Tua. So now they bring in Tua, a very similar type of player, sort of an athletically limited, injury-prone lefty. To me, it becomes a clear quarterback competition, especially with how Penix played at the end of last year, given the injury, given his age at 26. Also, granted that Stefanski kind of seems to like Tua. That was a pretty early signing. He likes a smaller pocket passer, and we know he's not afraid to give like an unpopular decision. We saw the Shador thing. We know he's not the hugest fan of young, inexperienced quarterbacks. We saw that with Baker Mayfield. His job is a lot less secure than we think it is, potentially than a lot of people think it is. I think a lot of people spend a first-round pick on him, including the Falcons. And if he loses this QB competition, or if Stefanski picks his guy in Tua, which I think is a very large possibility given what we've seen him do with quarterbacks in the past couple of years, I think his trajectory becomes very quickly from NFL star to career backup, especially given his age, especially given the injury history. How many other teams are going to want to give him a starting shot? Like we saw what Mac Jones had to do to get a starting shot again. Kyler Murray is not going to make a ton of money, seemingly, even though he's like the best quarterback in a weak quarterback class, right? I know the Cardinals are paying his contract as well, but he's not garnering maybe as much interest as some other people thought. I think it's going to take a lot for Penix to get another starting job if he does not win this QB competition. I think it's a lot closer than a lot of people think. It's giving me bad vibes that Stefanski likes his guy. He's going to ditch another rookie quarterback, especially with the injuries, with the inconsistency. Very Baker Mayfield-esque. I don't know. I'm getting very bad vibes for Michael Penix with Stefanski as the coach. I don't trust him to develop a young quarterback, frankly, given how he's treated them in the past few years.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And given his value, he's now valued around JJ McCarthy, Mac Jones, Ty Simpson, Matthew Stafford. So definitely other people are going to tend to agree with you there. One question I have though, like, would you take Penix over someone like Jalen Coker straight up or Rico Dowdle?
Oh man, honestly, I wouldn't. I'm a like Jalen Coker's a tough one because like his target share is like very volatile, but I really like the player, especially given what we saw at the
Yeah.
later half of the season. I also think Rico Dowdle is a really nice player who just needs an opportunity. I would bet on the players who are good, who just need that opportunity, who I've seen something from, than the players who have that opportunity that I haven't seen a ton from.
Hmm.
I don't like hate on Penix. I don't think he's terrible. Again, like 9-3 is not a terrible TD to INT ratio. He had a couple nightmare games, which young quarterbacks are going to have, but like given his age, given the situation he's in now, especially with the way the Kirk thing transpired,
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a lot shorter leash than he did.
Kind of surprised his value is as low as it is, though, with him being pretty young. He was only drafted, a couple of years ago, so that really surprises me. He's been a starter in the league. I
Yeah.
don't think his career is over by any means. I definitely would take a shot on him if you are like in desperate need of a quarterback, like number three on your Superflex rosters. I don't think that's a terrible option at all. But with that being said, obviously there's a reason why his value has taken a huge dump, and that's because of the Tua signing for sure.
Like I would love to take a shot on him as a QB3, but it has to be for the right price. I'm not paying
Hmm.
any, obviously not first round. I probably pay like a mid-late second at most for
For
him
sure.
right now, and that's just how I'm feeling. It's just who's Stefanski going to go with, the highly touted gunslinger or the safe check down Charlie? We've seen it twice now. I think we're
Yeah.
about to see it a third time.
Starting with DK Metcalf here, I'm seeing a lot of panic about him possibly losing volume to Michael Pittman in Pittsburgh. That's a little bit too much of an overreaction. If you look at the coverage splits last year, Pittman was a zone killer. He had a 1.84 yards per run against two high coverages. Meanwhile, DK Metcalf was kind of the opposite. He was that man coverage killer. He was crushing single high looks. He had 2.4 yards per run against those single high looks. And in Mike McCarthy's offense, Pittman's exactly the type of underneath chain mover that he looks to get. He forces safeties to creep up. And then with that being said, that's exactly what DK Metcalf needs to get back to his 14.4 ADOT and those vertical routes without being bracketed on every play, since he was pretty much the only good receiver on Pittsburgh last season. You might see DK's targets actually dip slightly, but his expected fantasy points per target, I think his efficiency will skyrocket because he's going to finally be facing those single coverages again. And right now, he's currently the wide receiver 26 in Dynasty, and this is probably the cheapest he will ever be. I would swap Matthew Golden for him straight up. I'd send an early second for him if you're a contending team. I'd send Tyler Algier straight up for him. Those are some deals I saw with him recently, and I would definitely do those. I think he's definitely being slightly undervalued for what his price is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we all know DK Metcalf, when he's at his best, he's running posts and go routes. Like he's hitting those deep
Yeah.
shots down the field, down the sideline, especially. It's what he specialized at. That's what him and his college teammate AJ Brown have made a career on, right? That's what they
Yeah.
do. Having Aaron Rodgers come back is the huge thing. If it's
Yeah.
a if it's
You
a
don't
kind
know who the quarterback is
of
right
right, if
now,
it's a
so
Mason Rudolph trade back or
yeah.
something, or I don't know, or a
We
Tyson,
assume it's Roger. Like I'm gonna assume it's Rogers, and he's
I'm
just
gonna
doing
assume it's
that.
Rodgers as
Yeah,
well.
I feel like he's just doing that diva thing where he's like,
Oh,
"Oh, what could my move be? Let me go on Pat McAfee and like talk about like three different episodes of it, and then finally I'm gonna say, okay, I'm signing with the Steelers again, like you all thought 3 months ago."
yeah, he's way too much of an attention whore to retire while he still have any cartilage left in that shoulder. Absolutely.
Literally, yeah,
Use it for all it's worth, for sure. I think he's going to come back as well. Yeah, Pittman underneath is definitely going to open up Metcalf down the sidelines again, running those goes, running those deep posts. That's what he's best at. That's what
yeah.
DK Metcalf needs to get back doing. He was running a lot of slants, a lot of quick crossers, stuff to get open while being bracketed. Not his game. I think the ADOT's going to go way up, like you said.
Yeah, and Pittman, as a Colts fan, Pittman is a fantastic like quick slant guy. He's a
Yeah.
fantastic intermediate to short route type of guy. Pittman's ADOT's pretty low just because he runs those types of routes very frequently, and I just feel like that's definitely going to open up DK Metcalf occasionally. They're going to force Pittman some volume early on for sure, but that's definitely going to give Metcalf those opportunities on those vertical routes, those go routes, and Metcalf is very, very good at those routes. So that's
Yeah.
definitely not going to hurt him whatsoever.
All right. Next up, we're talking about Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't had a feature back in his entire career. They finally signed Kenneth Walker. That's the huge news. They give Kenneth Walker the big money. Quick reactions might think, okay, this is going to take a lot of pressure off Mahomes. We've seen the past couple of years, he's been doing a lot to move the ball. Him being the leading rusher at times, which we know is not his game. We know he's not doing that at purpose. He's running for his life. Basically, the ball was not moving unless Mahomes was doing some crazy shit. Like, while at the same time, detracting from his overall counting stats, which seems hard to do. But the way they're playing the game, I think they had a lot less possessions than almost like every other NFL team the past like 2-3 seasons because they're killing clock. They're ahead in a lot of games. They're playing very strategically, much like we saw the old Patriots play, much like how we saw Tom Brady had a lot of 28 touchdown seasons that won the Super Bowl. Nothing that's going to none of the eye-popping stats and stuff like that we saw in the earlier days. Very similar to Mahomes. The way they're managing the games, I would be very weary of his fantasy value with Kenneth Walker coming in. It's very volatile. It's not as simple as saying like, oh, he's got a great feature back for the first real time in his career. Even Kareem Hunt wasn't in his prime once Mahomes got there. He had that huge year under Alex Smith in year one. Mahomes really has had Pacheco, CH, Kareem Hunt, some really inconsistent running back play. But I think with the sheer amount of resources that have been dedicated towards Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and now Kenneth Walker, as opposed to what's been spent on the receiving core with what Rashee Rice and Tyquan Thornton is making. I know what they think of Rashee Rice and how good he can be when he's on. Him and Travis Kelce will still get significant target share. I still just think the way they've played the past couple years will only be enhanced by how much money is being spent at center, guard, and running back, as opposed to tackle and receiver. We saw they just released Jawan Taylor, which frankly, good for them. But they do need a right tackle now.
Yeah.
And their tackle play has been very poor. Mahomes is running for his life. He doesn't have great receivers. I think they're going to lean on this run a lot. They have a great defense and a great run game. They're not built like the old Kansas City Chiefs. This is not going to be Tyreek Hill getting a 1,600-yard season. Even if he does resign, I see him being more used as like that gadget player, pure deep threat, almost as like rolling in as kind of be like a better Mecole Hardman in his older years. Mahomes' value right now is extremely volatile. I would even go towards the negative side. I just think with the way their team's constructed, with the way they've been playing the past couple of years, their defense, their running game, they spent too much money on Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Kenneth Walker not to lean on the run game because their tackles and receivers simply aren't going to give Mahomes the time to give those 50 touchdown seasons. I would think it's going to be around 25 to 30, right around 4,000 yards. Chiefs are going to win a good bit of games if he's healthy early. I don't know how his ACL is doing and when he is going to be back, but if he gets back healthy early, that's what I would assume for Mahomes. Yeah. And I think it's going to be very consistent to what we've seen.
My last player here that was impacted quite a bit by free agency signings was Trey Benson. Everyone's waiting for the breakout to come, but Arizona just threw a bucket of ice water on that dream. They just gave Tyler Algier $12 million, which isn't like too much, but it's still more than just backup money. They kept James Conner on a revised deal as well, which is not what you want to see. If the coaching staff believed in Benson, they wouldn't have given money to two other running backs as well, or to a veteran backup that's over 30 years old off an injury. And the analytics back up that avoid label as well. Benson had a decent 4.9 yards per carry last season, but his yards created plummeted in specifically the second half of the season. He lacks the success rate consistency that Mike LaFleur is going to be demanding out of him. And if you're looking at the 31-year-old goal line vulture in James Conner as well, and a high-end efficiency specialist in Tyler Algier, Benson's officially just going to be that roster clogger on your dynasty team now. Like the name value is pretty high, but his weekly floor is going to be 0. I just feel like you should sell the 4.39 speed while people still believe that he has that breakout coming. I've seen some trades recently of Benson getting 2 seconds, which is crazy to me. I feel like that won't be possible in most leagues, but I would do it if you can. I also saw him traded for Cortland Sutton straight up, which for a contender would be fantastic. I saw Benson and DJ Moore for Breece Hall. If you could do that to like Benson and an older contending player, sell the hype on Moore, get off of Benson for a 24-year-old previously top 5 running back. So can't go wrong with that. Benson for Mike Evans, I would do if you're contending as well. Essentially what I'm saying is that if you're rebuilding, try to get any second round pick for him if you can. And if you're contending, try to swap him for that contending wide receiver asset such as Sutton or Mike Evans.
Yeah, with Algier and Connor in there, that running room kind of terrifies me for any back that'll go into it, getting their carries just vultured in the red zone and in very key situations like we saw with Bijan happen and how we've seen James Conner do for years. I wouldn't like if Love went into that situation, which is a lot of buzz going Jeremyiah Love going in there. I still think Jeremyiah Love is such an amazing player. He would destroy him wherever he went, just like we saw Jeanty eventually get to. Not loving the situation for any other back going there. It seems like they kind of have like a solid RB committee set up to go. Benson as that kind of like odd man out looking to be the workhorse. I am not loving that right there. Like I would sell on him as well. I think if you can get a second for him, that would be amazing. If you could get a good contending player, that would be amazing. I just think there's so much competition there. It seems like a clear RB by committee. And Tyler Algier should scare anyone in your RB room if you have another back in there.
He's definitely got that starting upside for sure. He's extremely efficient whenever given the opportunity. I feel like he could easily take over that RB1 role for Arizona by mid-season. I would not be surprised whatsoever. With that being said, Benson definitely a second round pick or a contending asset if you have him. I know a lot of people are gonna also see the same news that we did, be like, I don't want to trade for Benson now, especially that price. But if you can, definitely look to do that in your leagues. You never know, right? So.
All right, guys. So that's been our top players impacted by free agency kind of landing spots. Definitely most excited about Genty, but drop down below who you're most excited about. And yeah, thanks for watching.